Hey, welcome back to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, and I'm going to do a general message for Sagittarius. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also, know if you're new to the channel, I like to look at everything, which also means that I look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes within your experiences, along with everything else. Just keep that in mind because sometimes the readings are a little bit longer because of that. We go deeper, which means longer. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, also know anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box. You'll want to know that because every time I do a video, you have an opportunity to enter into winning a free reading with me. All you need to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. Now, a lot of times we forget the word of the video by the end of the video. So the word of the video will be in that description box along with all other important information. If you are connected to a Virgo or a Scorpio channel, you might want to check out my other zodiac channels. All right. So let's see what the underlining energy is. Again, when you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video, you will have the opportunity to enter into winning a free reading with me. And this is going to be the word of this video. Let's see what it's going to be. It is sorrow. It is sadness. Well, Sagittarius, I feel like you are coming to the end of a karmic cycle with a person that you've been in a relationship with on and off for a very long time. And I feel like this person never really treated you well, and as well as you deserved, I should say. I feel like this was a trauma bond type of connection that you were in. So the highs were really high and the lows were extremely low. And I do believe that, you created experiences with this person. Like you might have kids with them, or you built a business with them. You have memories and nostalgia. So even though this person did not treat you well, I feel like they cheated. I feel like they lied, they cheated, they undervalued you in every which way that they could possibly. I feel like you got together with this person when you were naive. I also feel like you grew up in an environment that you didn't get the love and the nurturing that you needed. So it's almost like you went back into a situation that was familiar, but never one that was fulfilling. And when I say fulfilling, there you had moments that it was fulfilling because again, there was high highs, but the majority of the everyday it wasn't fulfilling because you never knew what you were going to get with this person. And but it's coming to an end. But even though it's coming to an end and you feel like you should be happy, there is a lot of sadness. And I feel like you're in a place of healing because it's also you realize how much time you wasted with this person, how much you gave, how much love you gave, and how much they didn't really appreciate it, is what I'm feeling. And I feel like that this person really did appreciate it. It's just they're spiritually blocked. And they're spiritually blocked. You're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. And as I said, you, Sagittarius, went back into a very familiar environment where I feel like this person has addictions. I feel like you grew up with a parent that had addictions. I feel like you had a parent that emotionally couldn't be there for you. They didn't know how to really express themselves. So, and that this is why they had addictions to deal with their own feelings, their own process. They didn't have a real process of anything. Their way was to avoid. So you've got together with a person that emotionally wasn't there, couldn't show up for you. However, you're still grieving at the end of this connection because you put in so much time and effort. You did make a family. You did, but the karmic wound is almost that you believe that you couldn't have love by going unconsciously back into a situation that has that energy, the same exact energy. And I say that because it's when we haven't healed, we don't recognize that that's what we're doing. We don't see any other way. So this is the underlining energy that you're sad. But you're not just sad because it's like, oh, it didn't work out. You're sad because of how much time and energy you put into the relationship and how you see how you allowed this person to treat you and how you kind of went along with it. And you're also grieving because there was love there. It's just this person wasn't capable. And you know, at this point, you deserve so much more. So I just feel like you're in a place of, again, it's sadness, real sadness, because there's a lot of different emotions as well. And the sadness is coming from all different reasons. So that's the underlining word, the energy that's happening right now. And I feel like because you're not doing anything, this person's not doing anything. You're shut down emotionally from this person because you're like, I'm tired of getting hurt. And so this person is not emotionally intelligent and they're kind of just mirroring your energy because they don't know how to process or deal with what's happening right now. Distracted, see, and like you see it as they don't care. It's not that they don't care, it's that they detached. They are disassociated. This is like reoccurring trauma because even though this person didn't treat you right, they also got familiar with you, and that it was also kind of a trauma bond for them as well. Like you brought out certain wounds from their childhood. And so they're in a place of having to deal with the highs and the lows the same way that you do from having to deal with the trauma bond. So that's confusing to them. But then there's also that this person's not emotionally intelligent, and this is bringing up so much pain from their childhood, really, and then all the other experiences that mirrored this energy, which is when people abandon, when people leave, because this person, again, is the way that they are, which is, I feel like, emotionally not opened and they don't give that much and they tend to like things their way and no other way and sabotage themselves with, running around with different people, having person at home that takes care of them, but then here they are running around doing whatever they're doing, or if not living together, just being in what you think is a committed relationship and this person not acting that way at all. So you see that now that it's coming to an end, that this person isn't really paying attention, that they're almost like distracted, where I'm telling you, it's like they're disassociated. That's how they deal with traumatic experiences, and traumatic experiences when it is there. I don't think there really are that many traumatic experiences that come close to the ending of a trauma bond relationship. That all the healing obviously hasn't been learned. Trauma bonds usually do not end happily. They end with a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. And again, mainly because I feel like with you, Sagittarius, you're like, as it's ending, you're not showing me anything. You act like you don't even care. It's like where it's not, is that they're emotionally unaware on how to deal with the situation. And they're unaware of half these emotions that they're even feeling, meaning they might have felt them before, but they definitely don't know how, what they mean sometimes. They don't know how to process. And so they're not seeing the situation in its full entirety, which is what you feel if that's the disconnect. Where for you, you're like, I don't see how you're not, how you don't see, but you're taking it personally, and it doesn't have anything to do with personally that this person doesn't care. What it has to do is that this person is seeing that the relationship is falling apart, and it's like every other relationship, and they go back to responding the same way that they did with all the other relationships, which was not very successfully because they are not emotionally intelligent. But the theme for them is abandonment, which is why they emotionally never really gave to you to begin with. And so the thing is, now I feel like you've gotten to a place where the way that you want to deal with them is just like not like you're angry. And so like you're dealing with them through like your emotions. And this also triggers this person where they don't have a problem playing the one up you game and acting like they don't care. They have a problem acting vulnerable. They have a problem opening up their heart. So that's the thing. This person can easily go into angry, which again makes you read like they don't care. They do care. This is the way that they're processing. And because and they might not, they didn't treat you well, but treating you well and caring is two different things to this person, because they have a lot of blocks. So a person that has a lot of blocks usually gives very little, they have a closed heart. You know, they're going to overcompensate within their behaviorisms by giving little and letting their emotions dictate. And then what happens is it's like then it's all about not giving, withdrawing again, like angry, distracted, unaware, all these things that are not present, is that's caused from trauma. That's detachment. That's because when a person goes through trauma and they detach, they know what happened. A lot of times they just don't have a feeling towards it. And that's what disassociation disorder is. And there's a sense that that's what this person has. So the thing is, then they feel like you judge them for the way that they react, because people do judge them because they're not emotionally intelligent, and people are reading them not through their wound, they're reading them through what their own perception. So this is what makes your person have a closed heart as well. Again, which makes them feel like they're out of tune, right? Like they need to be by themselves, need to be alone, need to be a rebel without a cause, right? Which is, I'm going to like act like I don't care. Okay, I don't care. Because if you don't act like I don't care, then you don't know really what I feel, and then you can't hurt me because then I'm not vulnerable. And so there's again this overcompensation in this person trying to prove how much they don't care, but it's that they really do care. Is that they feel like there's something wrong with them. So again, if they're vulnerable, this wound that makes them perceive that there's something wrong with them will be exposed, where that's not real, that's this person's perception. And that perception keeps them in a place of fear. And then there's, again, like you said, a thing where your triggers are, there's an expectation like, well, if you do something wrong, you should apologize. If you love someone, you should act like you love them. If you care, you should show up. You should act like you care. But really, um, the truth of the matter is that unconditional love is unconditional love. It has no expectations and it has no ownership. So partially your expectations or were are wrong. Like, and they're wrong because we shouldn't put expectations on someone else if they are not giving us what we need. It doesn't mean do more, do more. I feel what happened, Sagittarius, with you is you had expectations, and so you weren't, they were never being met. So you kept giving in hopes that you would again win this person over, that they would give back, and they never really gave back unless they felt really guilty about it, and then they would get resentful that they got guilty over it. But there was this expectation that how much you gave, then why shouldn't they give? And that they didn't have any problem. And I think that, this person had expectations that you weren't going to complain, that this is what you wanted to do because you fought so hard to be in this person's place when they weren't really giving anything, or they weren't making you feel safe, I should say. So, and then it's almost like the illusion was what you were holding on to of what you wanted it to be, what it looks like, what it can look like. But the illusion isn't real. The illusion is, again, what you want it to be, but that's expectation, and then coming up short all the time keeps you in a place of feeling like you can't have it, and obviously keeping you in a place of anger because this person can never shows up. And then what happens is, it, like I said, it really begins to like bother you on an emotional and mental level. Like you're not at peace. Peace of mind comes when you're surrounded by people that emotionally show up for you. Really. I mean, when we can support ourselves and we can take care of ourselves, yes, then that obviously fulfills us, but we can't be an island to ourselves. We have, in order for us to emotionally be fed, we have to have connections with other people that actually fulfill us. And the thing is, this person doesn't, they don't know how to do it for you. And it definitely affects you on an emotional level because every day being around a person that's not showing up and you're keep giving more and more and more, it begins to wear away at you because the higher self, which is the spirit part of yourself, knows that you are an expression of unconditional love, that you are deserving of love. And so when we're out of alignment spiritually by being connected to a person that isn't valuing us, well, it affects us even when the person hasn't done anything wrong. We just know they're not giving us what we deserve. So that's why I feel like this is also hard, the ending of this, because it's you didn't want to let go. It's like you've come to a place where you're like, I have no choice. I have to let go. So it doesn't mean rather that this person doesn't care, even though, you know, it looks like it. We're seeing here is that the person does care. It's that they have so much wounding from how they grew up that it's like they refuse to let down their wall. They refuse to, like expose that part of themselves. I know the universe works in mysterious ways, but sometimes I judge this situation instead of surrender to it. Again, when a person has a lot of blocks, they're not going to surrender to it, but you know, the person loves when they surrender their ego, and this person is still fighting their ego. So that's why, like I'm saying, I feel like you try to give and give and give and give and give because this person did care. It's not like they didn't care, but you thought if you kept giving that they were gonna give, and then the more that you gave, the more that this person ran from it because they felt you were giving because you had expectations of them. But I feel like it's usually when a person can't feels like they can't raise the bar, they can't step into their best version of themselves, the highest self, which means that they're going to come to you with equal give and take reciprocity. When they can't do that and they're being forced to do it. And that's what I feel like you were putting them in a position where you're like, I'm forcing you to do it now because I've been given, and this is what it is. It's like the relationship is a spiritual connection, and this person logically is trying to figure out how to like strategize the connection, which is irritating and it's very triggering. Don't be tempted to disconnect from source. Our connection to source is a love and healing we require for reunion. So it's again like this person needs to heal. And what this is saying, it's like disconnect, disconnect. That's the problem through this entire reading, that this person disconnects from themselves. They detach, they disassociate. This is how they avoid situations, but this is why they stay stuck in the same karmic cycle where this was a real spiritual connection, and this is what this person did. And when you have a spiritual connection with someone, there is a lot of chemistry. So of course, there's always going to be expectation. This person thought at first they think that they could control it, and then after they saw that they couldn't control it, they like ran from it. You are my true love, my heart, and my soul. So again, they know that it's deep soul's connection, and that's why it said. But if a person's not healed, it's not going to look the way that it's supposed to look. Unconditional love means surrender, means like wanting to step into the best version of yourself. For this person, it means coming to a place of self-sacrifice and really evolving into those higher states of consciousness that all are rooted in unconditional love, which is forgiveness, self-sacrifice, all those. So what we see here is that person feels it. However, they don't show it and they don't express it. And they get triggered by it because it's real. I'm going through a dark night of the soul. Nothing in my life is making sense. And that usually happens when, you're walking away. It's coming to an end. The relationship's coming to an end because this person does not know how to like be in the relationship, which understand this is intimacy wounds at its deepest. When there's trauma, what happens is when there's trauma that's severe. When I'm talking severe, I'm talking sexual, like sexual molestation. I can't even say the word. Like if you were raped, okay, if you were taken advantage of sexually as a child, if you were had a parent that tried to kill you, if you had, I mean, it's a major deep trauma that's caused from growing up with a parent that was really like you couldn't trust. So this person has detachment because they have that. And so it plays out within their relationships. This person doesn't want to have a connection. They didn't want, but then it's not that they don't want, it's they just thought that they could navigate the relationship like how they were always navigating it and just really unaware. But it's not that they don't have feelings. So the thing is, they're feeling all this stuff. And it's not just you walking away. I feel like there's obviously other things in their life that are being affected because of this detachment. A lot of times we're not present. This person is escaping through other means. So they drink a little too much, smoke a little too much weed, do things to, again, not be present. And so that creates problems, and it creates problems within work. It creates problems with other relationships, creates problems with the way that this person sees themselves and has other people view them, which they're not even aware of. So they're going through a dark night of the soul because whatever was created out of trauma. It was never meant to last. I mean, when we live from that perception, it's not supposed to last forever. We are temporary in a place of survival. However, if the behaviors and the patterns remain, well, again, then the karmic cycle continues where I feel like your person has been living this karmic cycle for a long time. And so that's why they're going through a dark night of the soul, because eventually it's the everybody, if you can only go through the same situations that are going to keep you in a place of feeling limited, feeling not loved, feeling whatever the karmic theme is, so long before you get awareness. Because until you heal the spiritual lesson, you continue to relive the same experience over and over. That's why in the Bible it says, what you resist persists. That karma means learn. And if you didn't learn, you're getting the same exact karmic theme again. That karmic theme plays out as an experience, whether that experience is victimization, betrayal, whatever it is. Well, this person, again, lived betrayal. And so they've detached and they don't realize that they're the person that's actually creating the betrayal. They're the actual person that's betraying. And it's because of the trauma. They're trying to protect themselves. They're unaware of what they do. So they don't want to do it. So I do believe that you are part of the reason why they are going through a dark night of the soul. And that's because, again, certain habits and behaviors have to change. Again, we don't just automatically go to a dark night of the soul. We go dark night of the soul because we're in a very low place in our life. And it's usually because we crashed and burned, like the phoenix. We burnt, we like blew up, we got in our own way, we sabotaged ourselves. And that's due to the behaviorisms that need to really be like integrated. We again form behaviorisms as ways of survival, and they worked in times that we needed them, but obviously they're not working now. I've been so grounded all my life, it's hard for me to trust the spiritual element of our connection, yet I can't deny they exist. So again, your person never really, like, they closed down their heart a long time ago. And really, spiritual connection is through the heart and mind. So this person can feel you. They to feel connected to you. There's no explanation, so they don't really, again, understand it. they're usually the one that's in control, my way or the highway, and don't care if it doesn't work out. They just meet somebody else. With you, they care and they don't understand why they care. So they're learning that relationships are a lot more than what they perceive that relationships were, if are, I should say. I feel like this person tended to think that relationships were something to, you pass the time, you get your needs met. Like they didn't understand the depth of a connection because they weren't never allowing themselves to really be connected to anyone on an intimate level. And I'm talking again, trust. So I don't really feel like this person again. They don't no, this have actually said they don't. They're like a lone wolf. Again, like they feel like they need to be alone. So it's like I don't feel like they don't even have friends. Not really. So I know I need to release attachments with karmic people. I've created a plan. So I feel like again, because this person like doesn't have a real relationships, like the karmic attachments or people that, you know, fill their needs, again, like the attachments are people that um codependency, they fill a need as I said. So it's like it's not that your person doesn't have needs, they have sexual needs, they have um they need their ego boosted, they need, they get counterfeit emotional fulfillment where it's again it's or low vibe I should say, count like emotional fulfillment. It's not really counterfeit, it's real. It's just it's not gonna last. Where again, when I was saying like having a relationship, treating it like a business transaction is what they're used to. I'm feeling controlled by people around me and I don't like it. It's pushing me to find my power again. So not uncommon too, when you have karmic attachments, it's connection through fear and fear through manipulation. So the same as how your person was kind of using people, well, these people also use if you're not giving anything, you're not attracting people that are of the highest vibration. You're gonna pull people to you that are either not going to give or have nothing to give. So that's the thing. I feel like this person played a lot of games, and in that, they have attachments that are more like parasites that they need to really um, to let go of and to change. And it is pushing them to change because you're not in their life, and they kind of see like that what they did like with your connection, you're in their connection, and then they're seeing again the people that are in their life, they're comparing those people to actually you in their life, and they're seeing a difference. Like you're not begging this person to change. You again will like you're not giving me what I need. So it's like even though I'm not happy that this has to end. I know it has to end because you're again every which way, everyone comes before me, even these parasitic attachments. And now that I've released myself from you, now you really see who's controlling you. Now you really see. It's like the whole time you're acting like it's me that you need to protect yourself from when it's really the people that are in your life. And that's what happens. This person has betrayal trauma. And so it continues to play out and it continues to play out because they are not emotionally intelligent. They keep people in their life that they shouldn't. They relationships that really that they've grown out of. It's like these people linger and they're not even, they don't have this person's best interest. And so again, this person like bases things on a very logical, analytical thing again, and thinks people treat them the way that they treat them, and if they're treating them nice, they're saying, oh, well, they're going to treat me nice. Kind of the way that you treated this person. You treat this person nice, assuming they would treat you nice and back. No. And that's really how it works too. When people are kind and you are not kind to them, but then you are going to be kind to people that you want to be kind back to you, well, then those people are not kind. And so the irony is that this person um, didn't treat you well, but who they stayed connected to, they're not treating them well. So, if they're getting their karma back. So again, and this person just feels like, the relationship at this point has so much hurt in it that no one's showing their true feelings. And this person is like, neither one of us are being honest right now. And I feel like it can't, because at this point, there's so much anger and there's so much pain, and this person hasn't had like refused to be vulnerable for so long that it's like, you're not like open to them, so they're like not going to be open to you because they're just again responding and reacting the way that you are. And I believe I said that even before. So it keeps on coming up. It's like this person does not know how to act. So they're trying to look to you to see how they should react. And again, it's not a genuine thing. And it's not a genuine thing because it's like this person doesn't know how they don't know how to feel. I feel like they had feelings. It's not like they didn't, and it's not like they don't care. They care. They just feel like at this point, this connection really can't work because you're not happy with the way that they are, that they perceive that people always want to change them. And in a way, they no one wants to be in a relationship with someone that it doesn't emotionally show up. So this is what the problem is. It's like this person just says, well, then it's easier for me just to be alone. It led because I really don't fit in anywhere. And so I don't see them coming, like trying to rectify this, but I do see it bothering them a lot. It's just them not knowing how to like express it. I feel like they're not going to express it. They're going to hide. So I need to ask, why did you attract this person into your life? Because even though the relationship, it wasn't like only a day, it was, I feel like a long time that you were back and forth. That's why you're sad. We still need to say, what were the spiritual lessons? What why did you attract this person? Not to mention, what can you integrate to see different energy come towards you? Because once you have this person, the trauma bond, like in your life, that it just ends, and it ends badly. It doesn't end with anyone like happy, like because the relationship was never happy. Um, like what can we do to make sure that we don't attract another trauma bond relationship? And spirit always says, well, to integrate the spiritual lesson, you have to go through this situation again, the karmic theme, you'll live another karmic theme, the same karmic theme rather, again. So you'll have an opportunity. You just have to do something different. You have to handle the situation different in order to get a different outcome. Again, there's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness will tell you what to do. So if you were coming from a low vibe consciousness, you would try to be the fixer of someone that's broken, which is what we saw here. It's like you were the fixer of someone that was broken that didn't want to be healed, not until you ended it. And even then, they're like, well, now what I'm noticing is that I have people in my life that really don't deserve to be in my life, that have a little bit too much control. It's pushing them to grow. But it's again, this is a very slow process. Healing is a slow process. So unworthy. These are in your inner child ones of why did you attract this person? And obviously, I feel like growing up in an environment where emotionally your parents weren't there for you, then there's this, you felt unworthy. You felt not good enough. You felt that you didn't get enough love. So you attracted a person that brought out that wound clearly because this person didn't give to you, didn't treat you well. And it wasn't not because, again, they meant to. I feel like their trauma, and that's what's really important here too, to take note. And it's not a question of that they treated you bad, so, and but they didn't mean it, so you stay with them. No. What it is this person didn't treat you well, but it wasn't intentional. It was because they're so spiritually blocked, and that you're getting, the universe brings you someone that's going to awaken your wounds. And you know that they awakened your wounds when you take it personally, because clearly you're like, okay, you're not giving me XYZ, you're not opening up, you're not, and the X, Y, and Z is the list of you don't show up for me, you don't show up for important events, you don't act like you care, you don't communicate. So I'm supposed to be a mind reader, and then you get moody and you play games and make me feel like I'm not good enough. You act like like don't care. Pretty much is that's what it is. But it's not. It's that this person's detached. But it doesn't matter. It still makes you feel unworthy. Still makes you feel not good enough. And like again, neglected. Which is pretty much unworthy. Like I'm not getting the love because I'm not important. Isolation, which is I like the trauma that we get a lot of times when we don't feel good, we do isolate because it takes a toll on our self-esteem. So you grew up in an environment that you didn't get the love that you needed. And when you had a problem and when you needed someone emotionally, you had to handle it yourself, which is why you went into isolation. Because many children that, had to, heal on their own because they didn't have the support from parents or from somebody that they could turn to, they had to figure it out on their own. So they would go into isolation. So again, being with this person brings you back to a time that like you grew up with somebody that emotionally couldn't be there for you. And that again, made you feel unworthy. So that's why you would attract this person into your life, and how you would integrate that into your life is obviously to do things that are going to fill you up. And you feel unworthy. Also, charity. A lot of times, like giving of yourself, charity will make you feel important, will make you feel worthy. That's a way that we open up our heart too. And it's a way that we don't isolate it, especially if you're like, I don't trust anybody. Where, or in this case, this person has all those same wounds too, by the way. Were neglected, they feel unworthy, and had to deal with everything on their own too. And that's why their life looks the way that it does. So you have the same wounds that this person has. You're a mirror. It's just how their wounds play out is that they, act like they don't care, where I feel like you're someone that tends to like give a lot. And like you need to feel like again needed. It's like your your it's your actual life force that attracted this person to you, which is, you have abundance of not just resources, but I feel like just your energy. So, you know, I feel like that they felt safe with you because you appeared strong. And I feel like you are strong because you had to be strong because of the, again, environment that you grew up in. But that doesn't mean that you want to relive the same experiences. I just wanted to see that I don't really see this person, like I don't see you wanting to be in this connection because of, again, how they made you feel. But once you integrate those things again, which it's, if you feel neglected, you have to give yourself love. You have to reparent yourself. And that's why I said charity, doing charity, because it's, again, feeling unworthy. It's, no, you have importance. Like, no, we're not, no one's born because of a mistake. There's no such thing. And we're not supposed to be isolated. We're supposed to connect with people on a heart consciousness. So again, the way that you can do that is through like volunteering, through giving of yourself, through sharing your talents. Again, just to be able to connect. That's how you reparent that. And that once you do that, you won't attract the same type of energy. You'll attract other people that are also out in the community that are, volunteering. And it doesn't mean that you won't attract people that are wounded, but you attract people that, that have the same mindset, that have healed and evolved. So even if they were once that way, they're definitely not going to be that way now. And belief. I believe in myself, the beauty of life, and the goodness of God. Thus, I have the power to fulfill my dreams. The will of the Almighty supports me. My life is showered in divine light, and my heart opens to the power of the universe. So, understand you are the universe. You are the energy of unconditional love. So, you are the energy of God, because the energy of God is of unconditional love, and God is the universe, and that is the energy that's inside of you. So I believe that the universe brought this person into your life to awaken your wounds, kind of feeling that unworthy of love, when really what Spirit's saying is, no, you need to understand that you have the energy of me inside of you. So you are more than worthy, and that you need to have belief that you're not here by mistake, but you're here by God's design, and you have purpose. And if this person again is not giving that to you, then you had to walk away. And I believe that you learned that lesson. And that doesn't mean that you're not sad. You are sad because you invested the time, but it's that you're doing what you need to open yourself up to attracting like energy that's more in alignment with who you are today, where I feel like that's what you proved by walking away from this person, that you're worth more. And now it's to keep that belief. And the way that you keep it is to walk the walk by continuing to invest in yourself, to love yourself. Because when someone comes into your life that's actually not on a high vibration, they're going to want you to give. And they're going to want to, again, like help themselves to your resources, where they should be giving their time, their energy, and not just looking and seeing what you're going to do for them. And that's the way that you can weed out the bad ones, because the bad ones like come into your life and they just want to take what they can take, and they don't have time for you and your hobbies and you're going to feed yourself to make yourself feel whole, to reparent yourself. Well, then you're not going to be weak anymore, and so you wouldn't be able to, this person wouldn't be able to manipulate, they wouldn't be able to make you feel the way that this person made you feel. You wouldn't stick around with it. And also being connected to other things and being invested in your life connects you to different people that fulfill you. And that's another reason why you wouldn't, because you could compare. You'd say, well, I'm around people that support me, love me all the time compared to you. And it's a no-brainer. You would be like, I don't want to be with you. But then what you see is this person would leave you before you leave them because they're full of their ego. And that because they need to do the healing. And that's the thing. You realize that even if they did do the healing at this point, you would be so much further evolved, because this is stuff that they should have already known. And at this point, I also feel like you would need a lot more than what they could come in with to fix this, because this went on for a long time. It didn't just happen. So this story really is that healing doesn't feel good even when we do the right thing. And the reason why is because of how much you invested. That's how we know that it was a trauma bond. But every single situation comes into our life, every single person comes into our life, every situation unfolds within our life, I should say, to help us heal and evolve. So I hope that helped you, Sagittarius. Let me know if it did. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.